Hey, yo, what's happening?
What's up, man?
Yeah,
Welcome,
what's up?
everyone, to the debut of Phil Knox Show,
Pulp.
the comic Pulp. And actually, I'm going to put you up over here where you belong because you're hosting this thing. Christy is the one that brought you to us. This is what's happening. We're kind of going to introduce these three because all three of them are bringing new shows to the network. And we're going to let Paul do his thing, tell everybody what his show is going to be about. We got Christy Shin. We got Dallas Hoisington. I hope I did that right.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. And Mr. Phil Knox. Go ahead and tell everybody what your show is going to be about, my friend.
Well, the show is just basically going to be about just talking about the positivity of comics and movies and what we love about comics. Because it just seems lately there's so much just hate going on about, I don't like this, that, whatever. And I'm a huge fan of John Krasinski's work with the Good News Network, and I just want to spread positivity. If you like something and you just want to talk about comic books and just have fun, that's what this is about. It's time to just put some positive energy back out in the universe, and that's it. 100%.
See, that's pretty much what the madness is about. If you're a member of the Madness Facebook group, there ain't no arguments about who can beat who. There ain't no none of that. It's just here's the stuff that you guys can get. Go check it out. It looks fun. Blah blah blah. We don't do the hate and discontent in the group, and you're bringing in the exact kind of show to the network that I want. So thank you.
No, thank you for having me. When I pitched it to Christy, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do this. She's like, oh, let's talk to Pops, and I'm very fortunate. She's been an awesome friend to me. So the fact that she brought me up on your radar, it humbles me a bit because she's good people. Her and I
ruin her reputation.
It's amazing because I put out. It's amazing because I put out this thing into the community. I'm just this fearsome bitch, and apparently you're ruining that. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. She's got iron armor, but she's got a
she's my spirit guide, bro. I ain't lying. Ever since I met her, there's more than one time where Christie's went hey, Pop, stay focused, stay on course. She's got me.
Oh man, she gets me good for being ex-veteran for the Army. She's got some pretty funny arguments. When we get talking in the long runs, they're hilarious. So, what was it yesterday? I was like, so how was the paint chips for breakfast? Do you enjoy them? I was just like, oh, okay. We're going there that early. He's a lot of fun. I love him. I really do.
Oh,
but
thank you.
So, Chrissy, what's your show going to be about coming out?
Well, my show, hey, Death Pusher. Basically, my show is we're repeating Lunch Hour because remember that shitty TV dinner you wanted to fucking eat for some reason, even though it was awful. So it's that's Lunch Hour next after your show. So I'll probably be drawing some shit. It's always me commenting and drawing some shit. I stopped it for a while because I just got too busy. I had to run and do a bunch of fucking projects and all this other shit. And what ended up happening is Now it's like, okay, here's the time. I mean, some people were asking, like, dude, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then, like, even my friend David Moreno is like going, when are you going to do it? Like, when are you going to do the lunch hour? I said, I don't know. And then now, like, Pop said, hey, Wednesday, we want you to do lunch hour. I'm like, well, I guess there you fucking go. It's going to happen. I've learned to go with shit sometimes. I just have to.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the perfect time. It was, we're going to expand this network. We're going to bring other people's shows in. It's like, hey, Christy. It was like just the natural progression of my mindset is like, okay, Christy, Doc, let's get these people have do a show of their own so that I'm not always the face. And that's really what I don't want to be the face of the network. I want to be the face of PromCon. That's my baby. That's where this started for me. That's what I want to focus on. But at the same time, I want this network to grow. So, thank you guys for taking a chance on us and bringing your shows to the network. Christy, whoa, I can't wait. She, the lunch hour was always fun. So, and Dallas is also going to do a draw stream show, probably on Tuesday, I think, after the morning brew, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
That's what's going to happen.
So 1 or 2 or 3, whichever time slot works best for you. If you want to go 1 hour, I allow people 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on if they can feel the content of what they're asking for. If you want to draw for 2 hours or 90 minutes or an hour, just let me know what you want. We'll make that happen.
Yeah. I mean, as long as whatever, like, the hour or how many hours allows it, then that's fine. I'm okay with, like, whatever works.
Yeah, well, like you said, Tuesday, we have just that, the morning brew, and then the evening's open until I go on the horror show on somebody else's network at 7:00. But
yeah,
I'm having fun, man. This thing is, I'm a co-host on a show on somebody else's network. Can you believe that?
Oh wow.
Hey, whatever pays the bills, man, and if you're having fun doing it, always do that.
Well, so see, for me, it's always been, I either had a job that I didn't get paid nothing and had loved the people I worked for, or I got paid well and couldn't stand the job. It was always this is the first time I've had a job that I love that might turn into being a profitable thing someday. It's like, but it's already a job, regardless. You know what I mean? I put hours in. Everybody knows it. So, we're having fun. Christy just sitting back there smiling. I can see the wheels turning over there.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, I don't say shit, and people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, what?
So, what comics are you guys reading currently right now? Which books are you following currently?
The only mainstream book that I'm following would be Savage Avengers, and that's because I really liked the first run of it. Okay, I mean those characters are kind of hard to water down. Okay, right?
That is very true. That is very true.
So I was like, okay, I'll roll with this. Now I'm not real sure on this second group yet, but that's everything else is indie for me. That's
is it because they swapped the team, or is it because it's like a new writer?
It's a new team. I don't know if you can get away with. I don't know if they're quite as rough and rugged. It's like they might have watered down the title without watering down the characters. You see. So I'm giving it a chance. Because I like the first run of it. So, and I think it's the only thing Marvel did recently that actually ran 28 issues before they broke it and reboot. Before a break and reboot is like, or whatever, is like it actually ran for 28 issues. People were buying it, so
And that's a good testament to that team that was running it. Because if they can carry a book for 28 issues, that means you got something gold there. And it's always it's always heartbreaking when you get a team that can carry the weight like that. Like 28 issues, that's 2 years on the book. So, that's a lot of work, a lot of investment. So when you switch the team, I could see the trepidation a little bit. Like, am I going to like this? Is it still going to be the same thing? Yeah, I definitely feel that one because right now I'm currently reading the new Superman title, Space Age, and honestly, I'm loving it. It's because it's been the best Superman book the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten back to the 60s and like all that stuff from the 60s, and then like making fun of just some of the old stuff they did in the 60s a little bit, like what's his name, like about the different colors of the kryptonite, and then really hitting homes with certain things and aspects of the 60s that people forgot about that did influence the comic. And it's just like it made me like feel like a kid again, because when I was growing up, I got all my uncle's old comic books. I didn't go to the store and get them because, and so I had all those copies.
You were lucky. You had an uncle that collected comics. You got some old stuff, don't you?
Oh, wow.
Yes. I got a ton of old stuff, man. Boxes of it. And Superman's always been my favorite character, hands down. Like, he's been the tier dude. The only thing I find weird in it is I believe this book should be more of a Justice League book because it has everybody in it and not just Superman. So I'm just kind of wondering like why they just chose just run it as a Superman title. So that was kind of curious.
Title recognition.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's title recognition.
That or they're lazy.
They just called it right.
Has Justice League ever really outsold Superman comics though?
No.
You see, if you're really trying to market, you're going to go to the one that's most known, and still do it, and still bring all those characters in so that you can show everybody how they used to look, right?
Yeah, because I think the last time anyone really cared about the Justice League books was when Dan Cook was doing Frontier, and like he did a really good job. But that was the last time anyone really. If you look at the Justice League books, you make a solid point. It's just one of those ones that it's there for 3 months and then they shelve it and they go back to it 6 months later. So yeah, I get it, 100%. What about you, Dallas? What are you reading?
So the last thing that I read was The Goon by Eric Powell, which I like reading. I just like the idea of like his illustrations are kind of like a bit raw, whatever, and stuff like that, and kind of like refined, and the whole story of like him like being obsessed with like this Chinese girl, whatever, and in this gang, whatever, and he couldn't get her, and it's really wild with that. But I haven't read any of his recent stuff, just more of his older work when he's been working on it. But I really like his work a lot for that one.
What I like about him and Mike Mignola is like they'll take old folklores that we sometimes forget about and then put them in their comic book storytelling techniques with their characters, and it brings up like a new, fresh, you know what I mean? And when you learn where they got the ideas from, then it makes you want to go back and check out, okay, what is with this folklore? What is going on with this culture? What is going on?
I think that's what I really, really appreciate is they take like a lot of really obscure, like old folklore that they found somewhere. And people are like, what the hell is this all about? And so it gets you like, I guess it accidentally gets you like interested in history than anything else. You're like, where can I find more of this shit at than anything?
Now, I will tell you the indie book that I'm liking the most right now that actually has a run of books is this one. I don't know if you've ever heard of this or not, but
Six Gun Gorilla.
Six Gun Gorilla?
Oh, wow.
This is some good stuff, yo. I'm just saying. This is a really good series. This is number 8. That's a Preston Acevedo cover. It's a wraparound cover. It's really nice, but it's Brian Christgau. He took a public domain character from way back and wrote a story, and it's freaking killer, man. It's good stuff. I actually have the trailer, so we might play that later,
Oh, hey, definitely drop it, man, because that's awesome. I love it when like characters go into public domain, and then the people that normally get, blocked out of the huge studio system, they now get to play in the sandbox. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like a few years back when like Daredevil went to public domain, seeing Alex Ross jump on that character a few years back, like that was incredible because beforehand, he had a falling out with DC. And so when DC just let it all lapse, just dumped their whole catalog, he was just like, oh, now we're going to go do this. Him and Mark Waid. Mark Waid did it too, man. They did some great stuff. Great stuff with that, those characters. So what makes this run more unique versus the traditional stuff with Six Gun Gorilla, though? What is he doing with the characters then?
It's a circus story, okay, like a circus gorilla, and bad guys, the bad guys, the robbers come to the circus. They kill the guy who brought him to America, his like dad that taught him everything. But this gorilla is a little bit smarter than the average gorilla. It's, it pretty much understands everything you say, and it got some really big guns. A really big ape putting really big holes in really bad people. That's what it is.
That's awesome, man. That's so awesome. What about you, Christy? What are you reading?
Well, I'm reading like from the source kind of. So Lawrence, Lawrence Hubbard Raw Dog, right? He does Real Good Comics, right? He gave me the original ones written by Harold, one of his co-creators.
Wait a minute. Let me make that big. Hold on.
Yeah, this is like what Harold wrote through, and it's much more raw than the printed shit that they had. So he gave that to me for my birthday, and of course I'm reading Johnny Ryan.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
I showed that to Phil. There we go. And
of course.
I actually post-noted a couple. This is all his Instagram pictures that he's ever drawn and sold and shit. And I wanted to buy one of them, but I didn't get to it in time. But let me find one that was like fucking funny that just made me laugh my ass off.
Gosh, that's a really thick book.
It is a big fucking book, dude.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Okay, we gotta check this out.
Okay. I don't know why, but
that is so absurd. That's so absurd. That's
now
awesome.
Look, Johnny, you're getting airplay on my show. You're gonna have to come on one of these times. I'm just saying.
Kind of offline a lot, but yeah, there was another one where it's like I voted, and it was like people shooting and killing and beating up each other, and there's this stupid shit going. I voted.
Yeah, and of course, Christy has those same type of, throwing bags of cement and stuff like that.
I mean, come on, it's after. And then also I'm reading this book by Roach Ayala. He's a tattoo artist, and it's called Roach Balls. And this is hilarious.
Oh, Rich. Yeah, that's our boy Rich.
Yeah, Rich Ayala. He's really cool. He's a really cool guy. So he actually gave us like some roaches, which it's not real, but he sent some stuff. Sully is Sully the Roach.
Yeah, man,
that's a crack rock. It's a glow in the dark crack rock.
There's Roach Ball cereal, all kinds of cool stuff, man.
Oh man,
yeah.
That reminds me. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, like, it was just disgusting. Like, a lot of it is like just fucking gross and disgusting. Like, but that's the thing. It's like I love shit like that, and it was funny because Rich and we were on somebody's show, and it was for kids, but yet they decided to have both of us on. So I guess it's kind of a joke. They just said, "All right, you can't swear or anything." And here we are trying to explain our books during our campaigns, and we're like,
Was that Don's show?
No, that was somebody else's show.
Okay.
But Don's show I also did, and it was Demon Bitch. But he said, "I don't know how we could put you on the show." I said, I don't have to say bitch." So I said Demon B, and somehow I made it work. And so it was weird because you had Rich and I early in the morning. We're fucking tired. Like, he's better because he's on the East Coast, but I'm like, it's fucking early. And I haven't had coffee or eaten. And here we are forced not to fucking swear or talk about any disgusting subject matter and make it super kid friendly.
Oh boy.
How the fuck are we going to do this? And somehow we got it done. But when they were scrolling through, there's like a part where it looks like two bedbug larvae are fucking before they get crushed by like a garbage truck. And so he stops on that, and we're talking, and I said, you might want to switch the picture. They're fornicating right there. And they're like,
That's great television.
Yeah,
That's
like the
great
thing is
television.
that I probably like was the more awake, I guess, sometimes, because it was like, even though it was like Philip and Dallas and I were on the West Coast, so we're 3 hours behind a lot of people. So like whenever we put it, like it will be Eastern Standard Time rather than Western, like we'll say Pacific and Eastern, because that's the most easiest like time frames we go on. And I've done that like because I have a lot of people on the East Coast, or at least people that are 3 hours ahead, so they know what time it is. So it was just like, it was so funny because I'm sitting here, I'm like 3 hours behind, so it's like fucking 6 a.m. my time, and I didn't have coffee or shit or anything. And here it is, they're at 9 a.m. and they're more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I'm like, and here I had to like not talk about and say bad words about my book. Hey Marco, how's it going? I know, it was full of hilarity and laughs.
Hi, Margo. Margo, I want to introduce you to two of our new people that are going to be doing shows on the network. Phil up here above me and Dallas over here next to me. I think you already know Kristen.
Nice to meet you, Margo.
Hello, nice to meet you, Margo.
She's
Hi,
a
Margo.
regular in our chat. She has a YouTube channel herself. It's like we all network together. We want everybody to see everything. So, you know, it's hard when there's 500 damn channels out there to make sure that you see everything I want you to see. So it's really easy when people bring it to me, you know, and let me know it's out there so I can talk about it. Margo's channel's cool. What's up, David? David Anderson.
Hey David, how's it going?
Hello.
So Pops, what is Slaughterville more in depth about it? Because I played the ad, so I just want to give it some breathing time. What is that one?
Slaughterville.
Give them a plug real quick.
Slaughterville began as a game. I think it began as a game, not a comic, and it became a comic. But Slaughterville is a card game, 1 to 4 players. It has, you know, all the villain placards with all the, you know, what you're trying to defeat and everything. 1 to 4 players. He also has a game called Gods of Metal, where you can be in a rock band. You can create your own rock band, go on tour, do all the fun stuff, but you can see that all the characters, all the card characters are basically based on real people.
Right.
Wow.
So it's not Slash, it might be Slasher. You see what I'm saying? But it's right?
How long did the R&D take for that card game?
He's been doing this, I think he said, since 2006.
Oh, wow.
This is the deluxe version.
So huge.
Dude, that is crazy, man.
And this is a full box of cards. This is not a bunch of air underneath plastic. This is a 15-pound box of cards.
It looks pretty heavy. It looks like you're kind of struggling over there.
Now, well, I mean, it ain't like that. It's just like 10 pizzas, you know.
Yeah.
So he took his game concept and turned it into a comic?
It's a comic book, okay? And they just funded the second book. Really, you got to have Chris out and just talk to him about it, because they also have another game coming out that they're launching this week, I think, called Gone Hunting, which is a family-friendly hunting game. You can take the family hunting without killing any bunnies. Isn't that
sweet? So where can we buy Slaughterville?
Laughing Rogue Games on Facebook. He's our sponsor. If you see down there in that corner, that little green dude down in that corner, that's the Laughing Rogue logo. He's like you say, he's our sponsor. He's one of the people that was responsible for getting me to Savannah 2 months ago to do our show live there. Great dude. LaughingRogueGames.com. Also helping us build the network. You know, going to be a big part of what we're doing going forward. So
Yeah, I was really interested because like I really like the soundtrack for the trailer that you played for that comic, and then the artwork looked really cool too. Because not only do I love comics like horror comics, but I love horror movies, and some of the stuff like the imagery, like it paid an homage to some of the earlier like 1980s slasher films that I have in my catalog.
Let me see if I can give you just a little more. Hold on. I'll give you just a little more of that. Just a little more of that Slaughterville stuff. There's number one right there.
Oh, nice.
That is
Cover's pretty cool.
awesome cover.
Oh wow. Is that your signature on top?
No, that's Christopher Brown's signature on top.
Oh wow.
The writer, the creator. He's man, look, I got to hang out with Chris for a whole weekend when we drove down to Savannah and did the con and everything. He's straight up dude. We had a good time. We networked with a lot of people, and it's look, the future looks bright, baby. Christy, you go ahead and do that. We'll play a commercial. Okay, we can do that. Check it out, you guys. This one's good. First, we'll overlay, and then
man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. It's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving it to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
I thought you said you had to go somewhere, so I was going to let you go. Okay.
No, I just quietly excused myself and left. And
you ran. We didn't even know it. Okay, never mind. That was Frog G's trailer, y'all. That one's launching on the 17th. If you don't know Frog, he's a huge supporter of the indie comics. He does he's a mod in like tons of channels, drops everybody's links everywhere he goes to all their active campaigns, their YouTube channels, whatever. Real good dude. So promote the heck out of him.
Well, keeping in line with like the horror comic that we just talked about, Slaughterville, the other comic that I've been reading lately on the indie side is Bloodstained Teeth. And the reason why I picked this thing up is because the color artist, the dude that did the coloring, chose to do a unique thing and not color it your typical, style of like horror comic. Like it's, like 1980s like pulp, like neon pulp stuff, and it looks great. It really does. And when I started reading it, I fell in love with it. It was because what it's about is this vampire who gets bored, who wants to make money, and for natural vampires, they hate non-born vampires. So there's born ones and then there's turned ones. And the born ones hate the turned ones, and they try to make sure that no one turns normal humans into vampires. They want to keep the bloodline pure. And what ends up happening is this guy for like 10 grand will turn you into a vampire so you can have all the stuff. But then his masters find out, and so now he has to go and kill all the people that he turned into him, or he dies. So it's got this very mafioso type thing to do. It's a lovely. I would encourage anyone to check it out. Again, Bloodstained Teeth. I mean, that's literally what caught my attention.
And who is that? Who is it?
So Christian Ward would be the writer, and then Patrick Reynolds would be the artist. It's Bloodstained Teeth. I mean, it's a freaking awesome book, man. I like the way they colored this book. That's literally the reason why I bought it. Because you don't see that, people taking risks like that in comics that often. Everyone's just trying to let's do. Oh, Edward Baker sold 100,000 copies last year. Let's copy it. Or hey, it like DC's pushing this style. Let's copy that style. But I like the artists and writers that take chances and go like, let's be our own thing. Let's really. Oh, Ed Gein. Ooh, all right. Talk about this one. What's up? Why'd you like this one? Ed Gein monster. Oh,
Oh, I'm actually reading that too because I was like, oh fuck.
I kind of
You have the comic as
thought
well.
that was what she was looking at. Look, this is Lucifer Storm,
Yeah.
Ed Gein Demon Hunter. Now, Lucifer's a good friend of ours. He's a regular at CromCon. Christian Rossi did the art inside this thing. And this thing is a Easter egg fest. If you love Easter eggs, and it's a little bit of real history with a little bit of fiction. Okay, that's actually Ed Gein's house, right? The day he gets arrested. Okay,
oh wow.
so he was a serial killer, right? I think these are
Right.
based on actual pictures from his office and stuff. Okay,
Oh,
so
wow.
like you see like some really weird stuff up in here, right? But there's a lot of Easter eggs in there too. See Coke up here.
Oh wow.
You know, it's like you got a little Coke up here. You look for it, they're everywhere in this book. Christian just buried Easter eggs in it. But the story itself is awesome. It's like Ed Gein's in hell doing his time, right? And a demon escapes hell. And the devil's like, I need somebody to go bring this guy back. So he's like, he gets with his underling or whatever, and he's like, this is who I want to do it. And the guy's like, no, not him. And the devil's like, oh yeah, him. That's you, send him back. Okay. So it delves a little bit into Ed's past, how he ended up being who he is, all kinds of stuff. But the devil sends him back to Earth to catch the escaped demon, and he sends that little underling with him in the form of a dog.
Oh,
Okay,
dude, that's
keep an
awesome.
eye on him, right? So, but I mean, dude, it's number 1, number 2 are out, number 3 and 4 are I think funding right now, or about to be funding real soon. This is good stuff, really, really good stuff. It's affordable. It's coming from the UK, and it's like really, really affordable. Okay,
Yeah.
like cheaper than most people are selling their books from down the street to here. No, and it's a great story. I got the retail tier on this. Me and Brad went in on the retail tier and got us 5 copies each because I know this one's going to be reprinted again and again. It's going to be a cult freaking classic.
Yeah, it's actually like when I opened the book, it was actually kind of cool because it was very much like, you know, because I used to follow serial killers for a time, and they showed Ed Gein's house and shit like that, and it's pretty much the opening thing is pretty much close to what I've seen of photos of the house.
Yes, it's all like reality mixed. It's mixed with fiction. It's like it's good. It's just a great story.
That's awesome though, because Ed Gein's literally, thanks to him and his evil, it inspired at least 4 slasher film like franchises. Like Hannibal Lecter. Like that whole thing where he talks about, he's trying to make a meat suit in The Silence of the Lambs. That was from Ed Gein's. Leatherface from Ed Gein's. A lot of that horrible stuff that we're afraid of. That man has inspired so many franchises because of what he did. It's nuts. And the fact that he had tunnel systems underneath his house to get into the graveyards is just nuts.
Yeah.
Because
it's also remotely like one of the rare serial killers you actually kind of feel bad for, because if he wasn't like raised so fucked up, he probably would never have done what he did. It's kind of like Dahmer too. Like, it's not justifying what any of them did. It's just that, Dahmer was actually kind of just a sad, lonely person, and that just twisted into something really horrible. Whereas also with Ed Gein, it was just, he was so warped by his mom and just so dominated by her and domineered by her that he just didn't have any natural way to grow. So he had to like turn it into these really twisted, perverse sort of things. And it's like, you kind of feel bad for him on that, because like if he had an actual normal upbringing, he probably would have been an okay guy.
Yeah. It does delve into that a little bit too. At the end of book 1, you get a little taste of oh man, yeah, I ain't spoiling. You gotta get this one, yo.
Yeah, Lucifer Storm's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like he's a big fan of Demon Bitch too. So it's like
Yep. and he opens the show at CromCon with us every month on Saturday. The first hour he comes and hangs out with us. You know, he's classic. He's a very distinguished fellow.
It's British after all.
With the name like Lucifer, what you expect, right? No,
Well, you know, it's funny because I was at Disney as like one of the toys, not toy stores, but like, remember Dallas? We were over at like by my mall lunchbox.
Yeah.
And then we saw the cat Lucifer from Cinderella, and I was like, wow, I was just wondering how the fuck did they get away with that?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, like I never really watched Cinderella. Like I was familiar with the story because you know Disney's marketing, and then they fucking like publish like tons of millions of fucking books on the subject. You know, like Cinderella. This like I don't have to watch the movie. I'll just read the books that they put out. A distinguished fellow, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That's distinguished.
But we were reading it, and it was funny because it's like I never caught on the cat's name. They never said the cat's name that I could see. And then, I mean, I've read various iterations of Cinderella, like as the fairy tale, but not the Disney. Like the Disney's one I read all the time. And it was funny because when it first, I said, what the fuck is that cat's name? And then it said Lucifer. I said, oh shit.
Maybe
with that.
Maybe it was at the time was like kind of like some weird cat pun, like Lucifer or something like that for some weird
Lucifer.
That, but you know, like that whole thing about like, oh, you even mentioned the devil. That's bad.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So it's kind of
he who shall not be named.
But
Right.
you know what? That's what I love about old school comics because they're peppered with stuff like that all the time, all the time. And it's, you know, when you look back, especially the 60s comics that I have from the old times, like I don't know how many times Jack Kirby did a play on words that was like an innuendo for like things that he like pissed him off, or you know, like it was smart writing. Like I kid you not, there's a New Gods comic from Jack Kirby that I have, and I highlight this page so much. And next time I do the show, I'll try to bring it with me. But and it's Jack Kirby making fun of then Richard Nixon, and he does a play on the name Tricky Dick to Loose Dick, and it's hilarious because the guy the first name is Lou, and then his middle name is like Sid, and the last name's like Icky. So you know what I mean? And it's hilarious. And when you read the character, you can tell he's making it so hard. And I loved how old comics did that. Especially like in even like was it Mr. Iggity? Like, you know, like the town was called Hell's Falls and no one caught it, you know, and all these little kids were like reading these books. So I always found that interesting that like,
you invoked the name of Kirby.
Yes.
This is Glenn Fleming's book, and Glenn Fleming got to go hang out with Jack on 2 separate occasions and just like hang out. Okay, it's not like an interview. It's just Jack, dude. And there's also a DVD that goes with it where you can just see Jack talking and oh dude. Now I'm loading the trailer for this book, but it's the old one. Okay. I just realized no, it's not, it's the new one. All right, since you invoked the Kirby, we will watch the Kirby.
Yes, let's do the Kirby.
When they mined an area, they put down yellow tape right across that line, see. And if you walked on the wrong side of that yellow tape, you blew up.
Strange Tales 136. I remember it very clearly, and that was my first exposure. to Kirby. And I wanted to show it to people.
Yeah, I messed that up. That isn't the right one because it's already gone through Indiegogo, but it's available. Geez, what's the name of the website? He's got such a long ass website. I don't know. If somebody knows that in the chat, would you put up Glenn's website, please? I don't have it right here handy, but I'll get the right video loaded.
God damn it, notepad.
Dude, I have so many people to keep track of.
I mean, you don't have any excuse. You have notes, notepad. Like you have a list.
No, I have 4 different Glenn Fleming videos because of the progression through the campaign, and then now it's on his .com. It's not on a campaign anymore.
Well, that's what I mean. Put the URL
the same
side,
name.
like with sticky notes,
They
with the notes in the
name,
so you could copy and paste it.
That's what I'm saying, though. Those files all pretty much have the same name. You don't know which one's which. You just hit and miss. Load one, hoping it's the right one.
Well, keeping on Jack Kirby, one of the things that I've come to love about him even more is because I attend PTSD therapy because of Afghanistan, and one of the things they got me into is a writing program where they talk about him and Hemingway, like the greatest creators of all time in American history. They channeled their experiences in war through story, and they had this whole thing where we go through, and they were encouraging me like get back in comic books, do all this stuff, and flesh out your meanings that way. And one of the craziest stories I heard about Jack Kirby is he was part of the Lost Platoon in France and almost died in France, and they escaped the Nazis. And that story was just insane. And then he wrote about that story like in the New Gods. So that's what made me like pull out my old New Gods stuff from my uncle. I was like, oh, if I have this, I'm gonna really look at it. You know? And
it's kind of like fucking Audie Murphy. He was like the comic book version of Audie Murphy. Like they had to like write down his shit because it was like too crazy what that fucker went through.
Oh yeah, it's nuts, man.
Pops, we can't hear you.
Pops, I can't hear you.
That's one of the cool things about Glenn's book and everything. He actually got to hang out for like a few hours at dude's house, had lunch with him, sat by the pool. He got to see the drawing table. He got to see actual stuff he was working on at the time, and it's all in that book and in that DVD, and it's just amazing. If you're a fan of Jack Kirby, you want that DVD. It's not a documentary. It's not something you're going to see anywhere else. The only way you're going to see this footage is to own this DVD.
That's awesome, man. You know, I want to know if the one legend about Jack Kirby is true, though, where he literally he went into a hotel, cut himself away from everybody to draw and ink a comic book by himself over a weekend. Like they said, he was so fast that one time the Marvel got behind, and he just grabbed the idea from the stand, went to a hotel, and knocked it all out. I want to know if there's any legitimacy to that. Because it gets talked about on comic force, you know.
That wouldn't surprise me knowing who he was. You know what I mean? That guy was he was amazing, man.
He was definitely one of my biggest influences when I was a kid. I read all the Jack stuff.
You'll have to have Glenn on your show. You'll have to have Glenn Fleming on your show. And
he's a very sweet man.
Yeah, he lives in the UK. Good. He's in the madness. He's good dude. And he'll come out and he'll tell you some Jack Kirby stories. You know,
that's fantastic.
You might not know anybody that's hung around Jack in such a relaxed atmosphere ever. You know what I mean? It's like, man, can you imagine just going and hanging out with Todd McFarlane and not talking about comics so much? It's just talking about life experiences and stuff. That's kind of what,
Oh,
that's
dude,
kind
that'd
of
be
what this
epic.
is.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because there's twice I met Todd McFarlane, but I was such a fangirl from the moment, like I just couldn't talk. He's like, "Oh, you want a picture with me?" And he just took a picture, and I just stood there like a fright bunny, like, "Oh man, I don't know what to do." Say, that kind of stuff. And him and Greg Capullo too, man. Greg Capullo is a great guy. Like I went up to him after a panel. He's, "Oh, you want a picture real quick?" And then we did a picture, and he, any questions I asked about like why he did, like covers for The Last Sin of Ben Grimm, which most people don't know that he did, and to now his Batman stuff and why he left Batman, and his answer to that was really great. He's like, well, Snyder got to work with all these artists because he's a writer and gets all these things, and mine was a marriage of, like I was married to Batman for like years. Now it's time to have a little affair. It's time to go work for someone else. I got to get a different friend. Like, and I was just like, I like the way he put that too. Like, okay.
You do. It is straight. The writers do get to work with a lot of different artists. A lot, with letterers, with all that. The artist pretty much works with the writer.
Yeah.
And if it's something good, he works with that writer and keeps working with that writer and keeps working with that writer because people are buying it, right?
Well, it's kind of funny because some artists like don't fucking like give feedback to their writers. Like this doesn't make sense or that doesn't make sense. And it's not like you're being an asshole, but you're kind of like feeding it back to them. And I've always been a thing about like working with writers like on that level, not because I want to rewrite their shit. It's just more of like, okay, you're explaining like this, but I'm seeing it as that. And I've also like when I've done communication, like just sometimes it's just better to just put it out there, like this is what I see. Is that what you want to do?
And then that's the only way you can really make the comic book grab a reader. Because if you keep it one-minded focus and not listen to the rest of the team you're working with, then what ends up happening is you only get like a glimpse of what the book could possibly be.
Could have been.
I love,
yeah.
Like that's why I like, working with Kristen to get time to, because like I'll write something, I'll throw it at her and say, oh, what if we do this instead? Or how about this? And we'll balance each other's ideas, and then we just, deliver it. Like when we first started working together, it was American Bastards. It was just a stupid cartoon that I used to do. It was just making fun of stuff, and
There's a beast of an artist right there in the chat. Just saying.
Riley, hey Jim.
There you go.
Jim's a monster.
Jim also has like a really fucked up sense of humor, which I really appreciate.
Hey Jim, look what I put down here within reach. Y'all want to see a little Jim O'Reilly art?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This is after Jim Lee, of course, Suicide Squad. And yes, he gave credit, proper credit where due.
Does it say something by Jim Lee?
After Jim Lee, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because look at that. Is that beautiful or what? That dude. Oh yeah, you smell like a beast too. That dude is a beast. I'm just saying. I love Jim's art. I got Jim's art all over the house, pretty much, or all over my room. I mean, all over this area. He's behind me. Let's see. He's right there. The Crom Hulk is on the wall right there. You can't see it that well, but it's there. Yeah. Trust me. There's a few other ones, a bunch of prints. We actually gave a couple of them prints away at Savannah Con, Jim. People like some of that stuff.
Jim says at least that's what my wife says.
I'm not going to argue with her.
Hey, she goes there where no one else does.
I'm saying I ain't going to argue with her. She probably knows.
You guys.
Yeah. Jim's also working on a Crom the Destroyer, which is a.
You got a preview of that? I'm always open to new books, man.
I don't have it, but I'll tell you what, you can probably get Jim on your show sometime.
Oh, That would be.
Yeah, a lot of these people are actually really pretty cool about that.
You're gonna meet a lot of indie creators now, Phil. I'm just saying. There's a lot of them that tune in. There's a lot of them that are a big part of what we do. So,
I'm open. Because like I said, I'm starting this show to just talk about comics and like why that we enjoy them. Why do we like? For instance, we were talking about Jack Kirby just a few minutes ago. Like, and obviously we have a like love for him. And I think the comic book community kind of needs that right now. There's too many people like in the negative space. Just let me trash on this. Let me trash on that. Don't like this, whatever. It's just like let's just put positive vibes out in the universe, man. And just let
I think you and Jim should do a show together sometime, because that's all he's about is positive and everybody have a good time, work together, have fun together. That's all he's about. We have another giant in the indie comic world in the chat, Mr. Simon Potier. What's up, Sim? How you doing?
Sam, what's up?
Into the Natverse. That's another one you got to go check out, man. There you go.
Oh man.
There you go. If you want to watch your ratings crash.
Jim's ex-Army?
I don't remember. I know too many people now to know their histories, man.
Well, I know you were Navy. Doc was a corpsman. No, I'm not flipping people off, but Doc was a corpsman.
Doc was a corpsman, yeah.
Navy. And then fucking a couple of you guys were Army. So I just remember, I thought Jim was military. No, never served. Okay, so I got confused with somebody else. Sorry.
There's so many people that we talk to. I mean, serious business. So many people that we talk to. I feel bad when I mix somebody up that has a similar book with somebody else. I'll be like, oh crap, I'm sorry, I meant the other book, But when you talk to a couple hundred people every other month, it's like, it all jumbles together. There's no database or sticky notes that will get you through that.
Yeah. Because
Max was in the Army. Max was.
Yeah.
Oh, Atrocity was in the Army. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing that I miss too is like when you used to go in the comic shops and just talk with people, they would recommend what books they were reading. Yes. And you don't get that anymore. Well, at least in my area. Like it seems like everyone's still afraid to talk to each other in the comic book shop.
Well, see, this is what I've noticed. A lot of people hire people to work in their comic store that know how to run a cash register but don't know dick about comics.
Really?
Yes.
It's like the ones that I have where I'm at, they have a pretty good grasp.
Well, I mean, that's what you want, is somebody behind the counter that can recommend stuff, that can, interact with the people that buy comics. But a lot of them just, they just hire whoever comes through the door that can, be there every day, right? Or whatever. It's like, yeah. What do you mean you're not on the list? Of course you're on the list. It's just a long list. It's a long, long list.
I'm sorry, we excluded you. We only call on you when we need to pad our numbers.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
I should know I'm Asian.
Well, that just cost us a subscriber.
And hello, Christy. How you doing, baby? What's up?
Oh man, that is so funny.
It's my girl. That's my girl right there. I love her. I'm just saying.
I am certainly my mother's daughter. We say fucked up shit. I cannot repeat it here at all. My mom actually got mad at me. Why do you think you make me look this way?
Oh man.
Your numbers only matters because I was there before. Does that mean you're old?
Oh, that's too funny.
I will move you up the list, Sim, so we can see you in the first 6 or whatever. Okay, I promise. I will.
That's too
funny. But my list has like 30. Okay, it just they don't let you show them all. You know what I'm saying. Hello, and this is another artist that will be doing a show on the Madness Network starting Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Friday afternoon for you people on the West Coast. Eagle Art with the Eagle Rider. So you'll want to check that out too. Okay, another art stream where, you know, she draws pinups and all kinds of cool stuff. So check that out. It's going to grow. We're going to have fun. You know.
Eagle Rider. I've heard Eagle. Have I met her? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, this Rosetta.
Rose who?
Rosetta.
I'm trying to remember.
You've been on Ladies' Night with her or something, I'm sure.
Oh, I probably am having a brain fart right now because I'm dealing with several million different things at once. I apologize. Yes, I'm the president of CAP, so that's part of it too.
Just so you know, Sim, you're always, when somebody talks about needing advice for their kicks or their Indiegogo, you're always the first person that comes to mind. So
yeah, Sam, you're a good guy. I was just fucking with you, but you know. You met before, Rosetta Mouthy Crash chick. I remember. I would probably remember if I saw your face. That's the thing. It's like I'm good with faces, but sometimes names are like, what?
Yeah, you've met.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, like.
So we're gonna wrap this one. Phil, are you gonna like this? You're gonna have fun. This is gonna be good.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because reminding people why we love comics and getting people interested in like comics that they may have never heard of, or you know, I'm all about it. You know, like you know what a comic shop owner's supposed to be doing. Oh, what are you into? This is what you might like. This. Go talk to that person about it. You know what I mean? And you know, get that conversation going because I think that's a lot.
Now I'm just letting you know I'm not gonna be in your show every week. Okay, you got to bring your own guests, man. But I got you in the backstage. I'll run the ads. I'll handle, you know, I'll handle all the mess. All you got to worry about is talking to your people.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
And randomly yelling at them.
Oh, no.
Randomly yelling at them. Good night. Take all night.
I'm gonna play a couple ads, and then we're gonna be right back here in about 4 minutes with her and the lunch hour.
Yeah.
Yay.
And I ain't gonna be in that show. That's all her. Okay.
Everybody's like,
I can't invade that one. That's usually
everybody's like, oh, it has to be all this other shit. God damn it.
I'll pop
Right.
in and say hi.
Man.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna play one ad, 2 ads, and then I'm out. Bill, good job. Thanks for coming out. Dallas, we will talk. We'll get you overlay and stuff set up for your show. And thanks for coming out, guys.
Yep, not a problem.
Peace.